All right, this is the second video on designing your color wheel. And in the first one, we did all the measurements and we divided these into equal quadrants and 12 sections. And then I showed you how to use 3 fingers to get basically the measurements going around. If you've done this correctly, you can already see the circles that are starting to form. And that's going to be the next step, is to take your pencil and just lightly go around and connect the dots. And even though we are connecting the dots, every once in a while you may get a little flat edge or a flat side or a little bubble that comes up, and that's the beauty of using a pencil. You can see I missed that one on purpose because I thought it looked a little rounder if I avoided that and went a little higher. Working with pencil again allows us to erase and fix and adjust and make it better. So I've got circle number 1 done. Circle 2, same thing. Just going to go around, connecting. And you should have about equal space between each circle. All right, and so now I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to evaluate whether this looks right or I need to do some adjusting, some fixing, but I think for now I'm going to go ahead and leave it. It looks pretty close to what I need. So the next step is you're going to come up with some sort of an interesting design that fits in each one of these segments and it repeats. If I was going to do something like this example, I would have to have smaller circles because this shape, originally the circle was like this and it came up this way and then I curved it the opposite way here. Well, thinking about it here, I had my circle that was a little further away from the edge of the paper and that allowed me to do it. So while this is an interesting design, it's not an option for this because I can't go up, I can't bring that curl up off the paper. It's got to be within the paper space. So I'm going to come up with something that fits in these shapes. And so if I'm going to start on my inner circle, I'm going to do something that to me kind of starts with like a puzzle piece, like the end of a puzzle. So it's going to round, and then I'm going to turn it and do the same thing each time going around. And again, I keep turning the paper. And I'm going to do the inner circle, the middle circle, and the outer circle with these same shapes. But what happens is obviously this is going to get bigger as I get to this last circle over here. The other thing that's going to happen is I'm going to erase the circle line that's not a part of my new design. So as you can see, I'll wrap up this inner circle here. And I'm not worried about it being perfect. I want it to look close and I want it to look like they belong to each other, but I'm not worried about each one being exactly alike. So this is my first inner circle. Second circle is going to be the same thing, except a little bit larger. And again, I would erase the extra circle line. And then I would do the same thing here also. Again, a little bigger. All right, and then I would keep going and going until I have something that looks like this. All right, so this is where we would leave off with this step and then be ready to paint. I've already done all these designs on all 3 circles. I've done some erasing. I could do a little bit more, but I've got some erasing done where the original circle line was there. And so, like I said, this is ready to paint, and this is where the video will stop.